All right, so hey guys, me Adam over today, guys. I want to give you guys my match review of the game. Barcelona 2, Leganes 0. And I have to say on the day, this was a very, very crazy match. Right from the onset of this match, it looked like Leganes were very defensive. They had a defensive lineup, and I can't blame them for that. I really cannot blame them for that. And this game reminds me a lot of that game against Granada. And I remember at the Camp Nou that Barcelona played extremely well on the day. They had several shots, so many shots on target. And it was Granada that never really tested Barcelona. In fact, they were never in the game that much. They only had, I don't think they even got a shot on target. And that game and this game is so similar to the way. And I was so surprised to see how defensive Leganes were, because I remember the last time Barcelona met Leganes at the Camp Nou, the Copa del Rey. It was a classic. It was a big, emphatic win, 5-0. And now, in this occasion, I think the reason why they're more defensive now is because of the fact that they lost their 3 goal scorers. Oscar Rodriguez is suspended. Martin Braithwaite is now with Barcelona, and obviously one of their players, I think, is going. They sold to Sevilla. So now Leganes pretty much are in a very tricky spot here. And for me, it was never really conceding that was really the problem. It was more so attacking-wise, because it took a while for Barcelona to get into the game. It took a long time for Barcelona to get into the game. Leganes kept piling pressure. I remember there was so much pressure that Longley had to make a goal line clearance to keep Barcelona in the game. And that, for me, was very difficult. That was a very difficult moment in the game. Because at that point, Leganes have taken the lead, especially away from home. At the Camp Nou, I feel like the momentum would shift to their favor, and it just make things a lot more detrimental for Barcelona. There was another chance they also had to, and they could have easily made it 2-0, just from the stats alone. And like I said, guys, Leganes did come up. They had some chances. And the resistance, the persistence of. The one good thing about the first half, though, was that Junior Firpo and Ansu Fati were linking up together. I was really noticing the combination, and I was really impressed with the combination. And it eventually led to a goal where Junior Firpo, basically, Messi was part of the build-up. He passed to Junior Firpo. Junior Firpo had to foul some players in the box, and he passed it to Ansu Fati. And Ansu Fati tucked it home to make it 1. It was a very nice, colossal Carrasco, he crasses into the box. A nice finish, nice swoop curve, and it made it 1-0. And at that point, I knew that we were in a tricky position, because I felt like coming into the game, like when I was watching the game, I felt like if Barcelona had didn't score before halftime, we would be in a situation where this would be a 0-0. This could have been a 0-0 draw. And that was really frustrating. So in the second half unfolded, Kike Setién didn't make any substitutions right off the bat. Like I said, and then I remember, Bustos, and I forgot to mention about him. He was very quick. He basically fouled Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi was he basically took him down very aggressively. Barca did make a substitution. Kike Setién did decide to substitute Sergio Roberto for Nelson Semedo. And it was so nice because guess what? I forgot what minute of the game it was. I think it was the 60th minute. Nelson Semedo played a lovely ball to Antoine Griezmann, and guess what? He was marginally offside. He was so close. It was barely offside by the smidges of margins. And you know what's so frustrating me about that goal is the fact that it's not the fact that it's just a similar situation like that with I think it was with Toni Kroos in the game against Eibar. Once again, I think it was Karim Benzema. He was just about onside. And here, it looked like the same position. And yet they denied. And I was so frustrated. I wanted Griezmann to score. And Griezmann really should have scored in the day. Griezmann, he had several chances in the first half. And oh my goodness me. He didn't even get a shoot. Like, a lot of the chances just were wide. I remember one chance he had, I think it was just a header. It slipped past the slipped past the crossbar, and I was so frustrated. Griezmann today, man, he had a mixed bag of a performance. I think for me, Griezmann was more or less ineffective. If I'm being completely honest right now, I do think Griezmann did play better in this game than the game against Mallorca. I think Griezmann was more involved. However, the final product is still not there. Okay, so then Ansu Fati came out. Luis Suarez came in place of Ansu Fati, and Luis Suarez didn't really have much of a game. Luis Suarez wasn't particularly, he never really impacted the game. And then Sergio Busquets came off and for Arturo Vidal. I think this was a big change. This was definitely a big, bold change. And I think Sergio Busquets coming off was a good thing because I think Sergio Busquets was getting fatigued. It was a really long day. And I think Arturo Vidal, the physicality was really needed because Leganes were growing into the game. You know, I feel like 1-0 wasn't enough to contend for a win. So then a yellow card was given for Ruben Perez and Lionel Messi. Man, I got to talk about Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi was brilliant on the day. He kept going. He kept turning, and the players keep trying to foul him, and they eventually did get him inside the penalty box. And so that was going to be a penalty. Clear foul. Lionel Messi steps up, and he puts it the opposite side of the keeper to make it 2-0. And I knew at this point it was game over. It was up to Leganes to pull one goal back. So then Gerard Piqué was substituted out. Samuel Umtiti came in place of Gerard Piqué. And Gerard Piqué, man, he made a crazy challenge, and he nearly. I think he's okay. Hope he's okay. And apparently he was bleeding, so I think it was a good choice. I to be honest with it, never have put Gerard Piqué to start this game anyway, just because of the fact that this game was not necessary, and we really needed Gerard Piqué for the game against Sevilla. Samuel Umtiti came in, and then Arthur Melo also. I was really happy that Kike Setién decided to put Ricky Puig on the bench to give him opportunity. And Ricky Puig, man, he was so close. He had 2 chances. I believe he had 1 chance outside from distance and 1 chance falling from a corner kick. And just missed 2 of those chances. Just about. I think goalkeeper managed to save both of those. Okay. And it got crazy. From the 80th minute to basically the end of the game, yellow cards came out everywhere. People were getting yellow cards. And Samuel Umtiti, man, that was a really stupid challenge you did. That was a stupid tackle you did. I don't even know why in the earth Samuel Umtiti decided to do that. And guess what? He's got himself suspended for the game against Sevilla. And a game which we couldn't afford any suspensions. Very frustrating. Ricky Puig also got a yellow card too. It was a very tactical foul. I think that one was okay. Long leg, that was a really stupid yellow card. Unnecessary. And then Junior Firpo also got a yellow card. I think it was that was also I think it was kind of necessary. Rakitic. I would say, for me, honestly, this game was very, very hard to describe because I feel like this game was very physical, especially towards the latter stages of the game. And I genuinely think that Barcelona put in a decent performance. I wouldn't say this is a performance to be remembered. I don't think this is as good as the Mallorca game. Granted, I do think this one was a tougher game. I never expected this game would be as difficult as the Mallorca game, and I felt like this game for me was a very tough one to swallow. Looking at the overall stats, Barcelona managed to get 8 shots, 5 on target. Leganes got 4 shots, 2 on target. Possession, 75, 25, 15 fouls. Yeah, there was a lot of fouls, guys. There was a lot of fouls here. 15 and 16, 5 yellow cards, 3 yellow cards. And you know what's even crazier? This referee gave a red card to the Leganes coach. He got a red card too. I think he got a red card for swearing, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. 1 offside, 2 offsides, and then 3 corners and 2 corners. It's just, like I said, guys, I think this was just about a deserved win. I think Barca definitely deserved to have won today. However, this wasn't a vintage performance. I don't think this was a performance, like I said, that's worth talking about. And I don't think this is the best performance ever. So like I said, guys, a crucial game is coming up against Sevilla. That's going to be a massive game. That is going to be a massive, massive game. And that's going to be a real massive test for Barcelona. Because that, for me, is going to really test our squad depth. Because Sevilla are riding fly high right now. I think since the break, they haven't lost a game. And they have looking great. They're looking good right now. And with the way Barcelona looked, it took a while for Barcelona to get into gear today, and I do worry about that. And then again, to be fair, it was maybe against Leganes, and maybe perhaps the game against Mallorca was like that. And so if I had to give my man of the match here, it was really tricky. Let me go over the player ratings first. Which players I think played well. Marc-André ter Stegen played pretty decent. Sergio Roberto, I didn't think Sergio Roberto was that impressive today. I mean, he wasn't bad. It was all right, I guess. Gerard Piqué, I think it was pretty. I think he was okay. I don't think he was necessarily bad. Clement Longley, he was pretty good. Obviously, that goal line clearance is very important. He managed to clear that off. Junior Firpo was pretty good. Even Rakitic, even though I personally don't really like Rakitic in general, I think Rakitic had a pretty good game. And like I said, guys, I'm completely fine for Rakitic to start this game because this wasn't that important game. Now, against Sevilla, he better not start. Rakitic, he better not start. Although it is his former team. And I'm disappointed that Braithwaite didn't also start. That's kind of disappointing. Sergio Busquets, I felt like he had a pretty decent game. Arthur Melo also had an okay game as well. Lionel Messi obviously had a great game. Griezmann, man. Griezmann. Oh, Griezmann. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I really don't know. Should Griezmann just because the whole point of Antoine Griezmann for me starting today was to get a goal or an assist. That was to get his confidence back to play against Sevilla. And now all of a sudden, I don't even think he should play against Sevilla. I don't even think he should be in the main. I don't think he should be in the starting 11 from now on. And so Antoine Griezmann really needs to improve his finishing. I do think he had a much better game than he did against Mallorca. However, it's still not good enough for a Barcelona player. Keep in mind, guys, he's won a World Cup, okay? He's won a World Cup. He was such an incredible player for Atletico Madrid. And the service, the opportunities there, Rakitic feed him several ball. Rakitic passed to him so many times, and I believe Arthur also had one too, and Griezmann still cannot convert. Although he did convert the one from Nelson Semedo, obviously that was offside, so that wasn't going to count. Yeah, I'm really hoping Griezmann puts in a really much improved display because, like I said, chances we cannot afford to miss many chances against Sevilla. Let me just be out right now that Sevilla is going to be tough. We cannot afford to miss that many chances. We got to be clinical against Sevilla. Ansu Fati, he played extremely well. I thought he was really amazing today. I remember I think in the first 10 minutes of the game, I remember he nutmegged a player. Incredible. And so I would say the man of the match, it's really tricky. It really is hard to call. I guess if I had to really pick, I guess I would say Ansu Fati. I guess I would really say Ansu Fati. I didn't think anyone else for me particularly really was terrible by any means, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with Ansu Fati for the man of the match here. So I hope you guys enjoy this match review, guys. Let me know what you guys think below in the comments below. Who do you think? What major talking points I missed? I think I covered about almost everything there is to discuss here. Like I said, guys, this was a very defensive line, and like I said, guys, 4-4-2 is just not my thing. I know Leganes didn't play in a 4-4-2, but they really play with a back five. They played in a very defensive-minded format, and basically they play with five. Basically, they park the bus. And that's just so difficult to break down because the only way to break down those kind of teams is you just need a pacey player. And Ansu Fati, that pace of him is the reason why. Basically, the pace is the reason why Barcelona ended up getting 3 points. Because had it not been for Lionel Messi and Ansu Fati, Barcelona would not have won this game. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think below in the comments below. Peace out.